So, lads, something came to my mind the other day that really just managed to tick me off. And I'm going to try and not completely explode in this video because of how stupid this is. But if you read the title, you might think this is going to be a rant about why you should take gear and whatnot. It's not that. I don't take gear. I'm very much a proponent of staying natty and getting strong as shit without ever taking anything. So don't get that idea. But natural powerlifting is a complete joke. And when I say natural powerlifting, I'm referring specifically to the IPF. The IPF is a fucking meme at this point. Why are they a complete meme at this point? Well, guys, there's a very good reason. And I'm not talking about extreme bench press arches, which they've kind of started dealing with now, or sumo pulls. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is this thing called Article 14, which I found the other day. And based on Article 14, I am not allowed to compete in a national or international IPF competition because of the fact that I compete in a completely different sport, which is strongman. Not another powerlifting, but a completely different sport that is not WADA signed. That is not accredited, whatever it is, by WADA, the most corrupt drug testing organization in the world. But, well, besides that, guys, we all know about the corruption that takes place at the Olympics with drug testing and the IWF and WADA and everybody paying each other money. Besides that fact, guys, I compete in non-drug tested strongman, and I'm also haven't yet, but trying to qualify for drug-tested strongman comps internationally. But those aren't WADA accredited either. So if I am affiliated with the IPF, can be banned for a 12-month period every time I compete in a strongman meet, which is not a different powerlifting fed, and does not, I don't see in any realistic way, deter their ability to test me, if they so please. I cannot do that. Every time I do, I can get banned for 12 months, and if I do it repeatedly, I can get banned for a longer period of time. Now, why is this a complete joke? Well, it's a complete joke for a few reasons, guys. Firstly, go look in South Africa, the SAPF, which is the IPF in South Africa. Last year, at the SAPF Nationals, there were 6 people in my weight class. And I'm only counting the open because there are too many categories. No one gives a fuck about junior and sub-junior. We care about the open. And this is, I hate to be harsh, but this is the way it is. That's the big boy competition. There were 6 people. Out of the 6, sorry, I think there was 7. One of them was DQ'd, but out of those 6 that weren't DQ'd, 3 of them totaled under 600 kilos, and I mean in the low 500s. And 3 of them totaled over 600 kilos. I think the highest was 630, something like that. I might be wrong. I'll throw it up on screen. 6 people out of the whole country. And no, it's not because they were the 6 strongest people weighing 83 kilos in the country. Here's the qualifying standards for going to the SAPF Nationals. A 460 kilo total is all you need to qualify. 460 kilos. Now, I don't want to be rude because, guys, there are people who are working very hard to get a 460 kilo total. I know I've got a mate getting ready for a powerlifting meet at the moment who's busting his ass to do it, and I'll be very proud of him when he does. But it's a stepping stone on the road to bigger things. A 460 kilo total is not a big deal. Not at all. A 460 kilo total by any measurable standard of what a good powerlifter is nothing. It's nothing. If you're strong, you could you could rip a quad off and total 460 kilos. Okay, this is the reality of the situation. So the reason why they have 6 people there is because there are only 6 people fucking competing. That's the reality. It's a tiny, tiny sport with a tiny amount of people who compete in it. And then they want to pull dumb shit like this, where you can't compete in a different sport. The weightlifting South Africa doesn't have a problem with me wanting to compete in a weightlifting meet. And they take drug testing way more seriously than the fucking IPF does, I can tell you that for sure. They don't have a problem. They don't have Article 14. They don't care. Well, maybe they have the equivalent, but I've spoken to them. They want me to come compete. But powerlifting, especially the IPF, has this broomstick stuck squarely up their arse because they think they're more important when they're. You have 6 lifters at the nationals. I could go into a random gym and find you people who total 500 kilos, who will total more than the guys in your top 6. At a random gym. And you want to have rules like this about, oh no, you can't compete for the good of the sport. You know, you can't go compete in different non-WADA accredited, other sports. It's like, why not? Why does it impair your ability to drug test me at a meet? Why does it impair your ability to drug test me if you put me in the testing pool? You know why this is an absolute joke? I know guys who compete in the SAPF who only go to provincial meets and don't go to nationals. Why don't they go to nationals? Because they're actually on gear, but they don't want to get tested. And the only place they're likely to get tested is at a national meet. How's that for fun? So where does your high, mighty, holier than thou attitude go when that's the reality of the situation with what is happening in the SAPF? So now me, a guy who doesn't take drugs, doesn't want to take drugs, likes being strong without taking drugs, takes pride in it actually, I have to compete in a non-tested fed if I want to compete in powerlifting. And that's fine. I mean, powerlifting isn't my main sport. I'll do it for fun when I feel like it. But it's not my main sport, but I have to compete in an untested fed. Because guess what? Untested feds are just cool. They don't care. They don't require me to pay 2,000 Rand to get a WADA accreditation for the most bullshit course on drug use where they pretend like, oh, drugs don't do anything. And it's actually this rare 0.5% of people who just, they feel a little overwhelmed and then they take the drugs and it's all an accident. Because, by the way, that's what the content of the course is. Like, reality of what this is. It's a complete lie. That's what that course is. And I had to pay to do it so I could affiliate with the IPF in South Africa. I had to pay for that bullshit. Now, because I compete in strongman, I wouldn't be able to compete. I wouldn't be able to, even though I could total 460 in my sleep, I wouldn't be able to compete at nationals because I'm competing in a different sport that isn't, WADA accredited. Even though I compete in non-tested and tested strongman, and they could still test me whenever they want. How does that make sense? Let me ask you guys, what do you guys think about this? Because in my mind, this is why the IPF is absolutely silly. It's a joke because it has this way of taking itself so seriously where it's hurting the sport. 6 people at the national level, not because they're the 6 best people, but because they're the only 6 who bothered to qualify. That's the reality. That's the truth. So explain it to me, please. What's the logic behind this? Why is this in place? Why do you do it but nobody else does it? Why does untested well, I get why untested powerlifting doesn't care what else I do, but they might care that I compete in a different sport. But they don't, but you do. Why? They have just as much of an investment in me doing powerlifting and not strongman as you might, but they're not going to stop me. Why you? Why? Anyway, that's another rant from me. Guys, Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this is reasonable, or do you think it's a complete joke? Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time. Cheers.